What up everyone, this is Jason with KDG, and today I'm going to answer a question we get a lot at our info email, and that is regarding your SCAR gas system. Cleaning your SCAR gas system is part of the general maintenance on any SCAR, and it is very simple, although it might seem daunting at first. Here at KDG, we believe that everyone should maintain their own rifle, obviously, but we're also big proponents of people working on their own firearms too. About 95% of anything done to a gun, you can do yourself with a little knowledge and some common household tools. You don't need a gunsmith, you don't need your buddy who claims he can do it. You can do it yourself. So, for the SCAR gas system, we're going to talk about how to disassemble it, how to clean it, and reassemble it. And it's really simple. We're going to start by taking our SCAR apart. We're going to pop the lower receiver off, we're going to slide the stock off, and we're going to rip all the guts out the back. Once we get into this configuration here, we're going to take the 4 barrel keeper screws out and your 2 MREX mounting screws. And just like when installing the MREX, you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to slide your rail forward and you're going to pop it out of the receiver. I have already done that. So we're going to talk about taking the rail off of your barrel assembly. Now it's not something you need to do, but I'm going to do it just so I can show you the best practices of how to remove this screw. Because a lot of you like to strip this screw. Now, to do that is real easy, and the best tool, the number one thing we tell everyone to do when removing this barrel screw here that's super Loctited on, use a soldering gun. A soldering gun, a wood burner if you have one, great. They're great tools. And what you're going to do is, pretending my flathead screwdriver here is the soldering gun, you're just going to place it on the screw. You're going to hold it there for like a minute and a half, do more, whatever you got to do. And then once that screw is nice and hot, you're going to take your T25 and you're going to spin it off. Now if you don't have a soldering gun or a wood burner, you could use a heat gun. They're like 12 bucks at Harbor Freight. Go buy a heat gun, they're super useful. If you don't have a heat gun, a hot hair dryer works just the same. The one thing I will caution you is, when doing this on your SCAR, be careful of plastic components like these little barrel nut screw keepers here. If you use a heat gun, they will melt. Not speaking from experience or anything. Once you got that screw out, carefully, not to burn yourself, you're just gonna pop off your rail, slide your barrel out. Now we're gonna get to the gas system. Super simple. My favorite tool to use is a tiny pocket flathead screwdriver. And what you're going to do is, with your adjustable gas block here in the unsuppressed position, you're going to notice a little tiny detent. You're going to press that in, and at the same time you're just going to rotate your gas block adjuster past the stop and then pull it forward. Once you do that, take your nice little flathead screwdriver, and from the back you're just going to push your piston out the front. Now, if those of you who are running this suppressed and this little guy doesn't like to move, or you've never cleaned this before and you thought, hey, I'm going to do this now. If this guy doesn't move, your best friend is going to be a little bit of CLR. Do what you got to do, but what you essentially want to do is, you're going to take your barrel assembly and you're going to put it upside down in a cup of CLR, and you're going to let that soak a little bit. And that'll loosen everything up and allow you to take all these components out. If you don't have CLR, a little WD-40 does work. It's got to sit longer. I like CLR. Once all your components are out, just going to wipe down all the carbon. And don't drop anything. And if need be, you're going to use that nice little cup of CLR that you had earlier. You're going to drop your parts in there. You're going to let them sit. One thing we don't want to do, one thing we want to be very careful of when cleaning this is we don't want to use anything abrasive. CLR seems to do the trick pretty well, especially brushes. You don't want to use any steel or wire brushes. Copper brushes, I'm not a particular fan of. And you certainly don't want to use any sort of files if it's really fouled up. Just let it sit and soak in CLR. Now that your parts are sitting in the CLR, the next thing you're going to want to do is just take a little bore brush, and you're going to want to clean inside your little gas system, your little gas block here, gently. And remember, nothing abrasive. And then you're just going to run a couple pipe cleaners through there, get all the fouling, get all the carbon out of there. Shouldn't be too much. And then a little dab of oil goes a long way. Little dab, little dab. All right, let's get back to our parts in the CLR. After a few minutes, you take it out with a nice soft brush, a nice soft cloth. Just gonna rub the carbon away. Pipe cleaners, do whatever you gotta do. Nothing abrasive. Make sure you dry these components off really well. Now with your piston, it's very important to note on your piston, you will notice there are 3 little gas rings. When assembling this, you want to make sure that these gas rings, the little notch inside of them, are all offset of one another. If they're not offset, you can have leaking gas issues. Same thing goes with your bolt on an AR. You take your bolt out, you will see the same 3 gas rings. And if those are misaligned, broken, cracked, if one's even missing, it can cause serious issues. Ideally, you want these a third apart from each other. You can just gently use your flathead screwdriver to make sure that they are all evenly spaced. You never want to scrape anything on this. Like I said, nothing abrasive, no files, no scraping. A little bit of CLR, soft brush, and a soft cloth. To assemble it all back together, just a dab of oil, make sure everything's nice and lubricated. You're going to slide your piston back in. You're going to push it down. Get the front side out of the way. You're going to put your piston in, and you're just going to gently push it down in spot. You could push it all the way down until it protrudes slightly from the back. Then you're going to take your little gas jet system here, and you're going to put it back in the same way you took it out. You're going to rotate, and then you're going to take your nice little flathead again, press down until it snaps into place. And now it should move freely, no issues, no gum. Presto, presto, congratulations. How easy was that? Then you're just going to put your scar back together. MRX rail goes together the same way that all MRX rails go together. Loctite. Loctite. Preferably red. Motherfucker. Cut that. Don't forget to add Loctite to your barrel screw. A little bit of red goes a long way. When reinstalling the MRX, I never like to tighten this guy completely down all the way. I like to do that when I put the other two on. But there you go. That's how you clean your gas jet. Now this can be done with the MRX rail in place, and I can show you that real briefly now that everything's nice and clean. Press this down. Rotate. And pop out.